Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Welcome around the globe to Kangen Water Radio, featuring the Kangen Water Health and Information International Call, where we consider, clarify, and often correct the conventional wisdom around Kangen water technology, the different machines, the science behind water types, uses, and benefits, the testing process, the maintenance and cleaning of machines, and much, much more. We also explore a plethora of other topics as we teach, promote, and discuss the three-pronged approach to health and wellness, hydration, detoxification, and complete macro and micro nutrition. I'm family physician Dr. Lisa Battle Singletary, your virtual keto coach, and I'll be joined by my co-host and fearless leader, Mr. Terrence Hope, Enagic 6A distributor extraordinaire. And together, we bring you the best of both worlds. It is September the 22nd, first day of fall, I think. It is my mother's birthday. Happy birthday, Mommy. She's not worried about birthdays now where she is. And we're talking, this is call number 427, and we're talking about the carb stoplight, or traffic light, not just a stoplight, but traffic light. So where does that all come from? Well, we've talked about the food groups on this program a lot. The major macro food groups, carbohydrates, fats, and proteins. Should be pretty simple, right? It's not so simple because your body is a complex metabolic machine. And so we need to think sometimes a little more complex about what we put in. But yes, it is true, garbage in, garbage out. So that can be pretty simple. And we've tried to find ways of simplifying food choices. One of the first and most frequent, not complaints, but questions that I hear, please really, that I hear when I'm coaching people on the keto program is, what can I eat? And the second thing that I hear is, do I have to get rid of all carbs? So we're going to talk a little bit about carbs today. Now, as a preliminary, or as laying the groundwork for this, you could go back to call number 422. And that call, I think, was called the true price or the true cost of food. And we introduced some research there about a food traffic light system. So green mean go, yellow caution, and red, you might want to rethink. And well, actually, you might want to rethink the caution, and red is just don't go there. And interestingly enough, that particular scale was based or was founded in research on good food choices, not only for the individual, but also factoring in the environmental impact of different foods. So it was food for you as well as food for the planet that they were taking into consideration on that traffic light system. So I just was thinking about traffic lights and carbs, and trust me, there have been many, many, many traffic light systems just based on food and health alone, not so much factoring in the environment, but when you compare the different traffic lights, there aren't that many changes. So the things that are good for you very often are good for the environment as well. So that's, I think, the little precursor before we dig into what some of the traffic lights that are available. And what I'm going to do is show you just how I found these traffic lights. So I went to Dr. Google. I love Dr. Google. Some people say you got to use Google Scholar or you got to use this or that. But I very often start with Google because the popular press has distilled a lot of content down into more palatable knowledge bites, if you will. And from there, I go to sources like PubMed and to the original research, et cetera. So, I do it a little different than some people do, but I found some really cool stuff on Google. So let me share my screen. So I just went to Google and I searched the terms Carbs-Traffic light. And so there are all kinds of images for traffic lights. You can actually buy traffic lights. I didn't know that, but you can get an LED traffic light for $664.26. So we're not trying to stop traffic today. We're going to make some nice carbohydrate choices. So the next thing I do when I go into my research is once I'm on the search page for Google, I look for, well, who's talking about it? So we've got superwellness.co.uk. So that's a British system. And there's a PDF file. Maybe we'll take a look at that. The traffic light guide to food Carbohydrate Counter. That sounds like a really good tool. So, I scan who's talking about what. Here's another PDF. But I'm always looking out to see if Healthline has done anything, because I love healthline.com. So let us just go to this first one, Carbohydrate Traffic Light System at Super Wellness. That sounds good. In the UK. And this did not disappoint. I knew there would be a little bit of translation. And I did want to say before we do go to the resources, in the three-pronged approach, our food choices are the bottom line of our food choices. We find in the good food, bad food list. So you'll find many times when people have lists of healthy choices of this or that, we might take a little bit of exception. There was a list of grains, for instance, as being heart healthy. And we could only give half of a promotion to the grains on that list because wheat, barley, rye, and oats are sources of gluten, and they cause gut inflammation, which is the beginning of all kinds of bad things, including poor absorption of nutrients, disruption of the gut bacterial balance, inflammation of the gut lining, and ultimately leaky gut syndrome, which triggers on the other side, once these chemicals and pathogens get beyond the gut lining into the trying to think of another word for parenchyma, but into the tissues of your body and your bloodstream, causing all kinds of inflammatory havoc and possible chronic immune issues, which lead to other more serious diseases. So these choices that we make can have a huge impact, even though it seems like a small thing. Should I eat this muffin, or should I eat this even bowl of oatmeal? Or I heard it was healthy, but Dr. Lisa said you shouldn't eat oatmeal. Well, it wasn't Dr. Lisa, it was Dr. Wallach. And you see these things about gluten-free oatmeal. That's a sales trick, right? Remember, what is gluten? Gluten is a protein that plants make as part of their defense system because they don't want to be eaten. So these proteins cause problems in the organisms that might eat them. And so gluten is this particular protein is indigestible by humans. We do not have the enzymes in our metabolic makeup to properly digest gluten. No human being does. Now, is there a spectrum of gluten intolerance? Absolutely. Are there some people that actually have awesome, meaning really, really, really bad consequences when they eat gluten, and other people, they really can't tell? Absolutely. But when you look at the autopsy results of gluten ingestion over time, it's a big problem. So we're making little changes today to stave off huge problems in the future. Now, this trick about gluten-free oatmeal, it just so happens that the protein that oats make, oats, that's this defensive protein that we cannot digest, is called Avenin, and it is a cousin of gluten. So you can say your oats are gluten-free, but they still have an undigestible protein as part of their defense mechanism. So I'm sorry, actually, when I started whittling down my own personal bad food, I went through the closets and started getting rid of things that were on the bad food list. And the last thing that was clawed from my clenched, gripping fingers was oatmeal. But let me tell you, it made a difference. So, and the more I learned about the science, the more I just said, I need to take a listen to this information. So we may see things on, for instance, I saw something when I flashed to this list. The first thing I see was porridge, right? Now remember, this is a document from Great Britain. And porridge is on the super list. Well, it's not going to be on our super list. Porridge, which is from rolled oats, is on the steer clear list. So I love the way they call this. The green light is super, the amber light is so, and steer clear. They did give this right, the instant porridge. Forget about it. But that's mostly because they put sugar in that, right? So this list, I don't like. I just like it because it used the word porridge. But other than that, I don't like this list. Why not? We've got in the breads, oat cakes, rye bread, wheat, barley, rye, and oats are our top 4 gluten offenders. So we're completely not looking at the breads. So all of those should be over here in the red list. Mealtime carbs, baked beans. Okay, beetroot. I don't know what borlotti beans are, but if I saw them on the shelf, they would probably be worth a try. But we would have to balance that with the other macronutrients. But today we're just talking about carbs. But what they call mealtime carbs, I have to really, for the most part, agree. Right? These carbs are, for the most part, gluten-free. Hopefully, your corn is going to be non-GMO, right? Also, that's another reason something would land, that something that seems like a green light food would land really in the red light area if it was GMO. And we know 90+% of the corn in this country is genetically modified. Now, they are coming out with labeling that says non-GMO on some corn products. And frankly, I'm skeptical, but I'm hopeful that they're actually telling the truth. I just can't see how all those fields that were dedicated all those years to mass production of this GMO corn and soy all of a sudden can be organic. So keep your eyes open on that. I'm not so quick just to jump to corn or soy products because what did they do to the ground that these products were grown in before they quote unquote said they were organic? And I say that I have a friend who's a farmer in Longmont, Colorado, and he bought this dry, dusty, non-producing patch of land. And he told the Department of Agriculture he wanted to enrich the soil and turn it into an organic garden. And what the first thing they recommended to him was to blast it with Roundup. And he's like, wait a minute, don't you get it? I want this to be organic. And they just, no, they did not get it. So, yeah, just because something says a good name on the label, like I said, I'm not so quick to jump onto the bandwagon, but, you know, I'm hopeful that as we vote with our wallets and we buy more organic and more gluten-free, that the food industrial complex will see that there is a significant demand for non-GMO products and for gluten-free products. Okay, let's go to another traffic light. Okay, this one says a carbohydrate counter, and this one is from Australia. So let's see. What we can glean from down under. So I can make this bigger, I think. There we go. Okay, so it's a resource. They've also got a traffic light for diabetes, type 1, as well as type 2 and gestational diabetes, and an overall guide traffic light counter for carbohydrate counter. Okay. So let's see, this is a 29-page PDF file, the carbohydrate counter. And let's see what we can glean from this. Okay, so they're giving us an exchange system for breakfast, lunch, and dinner, and snacks. Recipes, I like that. I don't like the plain flour in the sauce. The tomato sauce might be better. Let's look. Yeah, they could add more stuff in the tomato sauce. Here's my tomato sauce hack, or my tomato anything hack. You can buy diced canned tomatoes that are fire roasted. Oh my goodness, that is such a great flavor enhancer. Now, also you can buy them that have garlic and basil and different seasonings in them. That's also a good hack, I'll say. All right, but I want to see the traffic light. All right, so there's a lot of information here, but it is not all. It's a little disappointing, I would say. So we're not going to go to Australia. Let's go to food counts. So traffic light food labeling. So low is, this is based on calories. All right, so we're not just looking at calories, we're not just looking at calories, we're looking at carbs. But this is just general information about labeling. And we're still in the UK. Interesting. So they seem to be a little bit ahead of us as far as making resources available. All right, now, excuse me, I'm going to add one word to my search, which is Healthline. And Healthline does not disappoint. 14 foods to avoid or limit. So the avoid would be red light and limit would be amber light on the low carb diet. I'll definitely include that. And easy and practical tips for counting carbs accurately. You don't really need to count them unless you're trying to get onto the keto lifestyle, but knowing how some of these, knowing the characteristics of the good carbs, the bad carbs, and the intermediate carbs are going to help you. So here's the last search I did. And I put in not just good carbs, but I put in great carbs. Because on the traffic light system, and I'm going to give you an image here. On the traffic light system, there are carbohydrates that are great, that are good, and then that are bad. So the great carbs, what are they mostly going to have in common? The color. They're going to have phytonutrients. They're going to have antioxidants. They're going to have fiber. They're going to have so much nutrient density that when you eat you can eat great carbs basically anytime and almost on any diet. You still have to count a little bit for the keto, but there are some great carbs, particularly the leafy greens, that are superb for keto. Good carbs, starchy vegetables, thankfully, sweet potatoes, rice are not, do not have gluten, right? So you can be on a gluten-free diet and still have some nice filling, starchy carbs. Now, sometimes, I like this, sometimes we're going to want the sweeter fruits, but the berries are the king of fruits as far as balance between carbohydrates and phytonutrients. Bad carbs, wheat, barley, rye, oats, rice, whole wild rice. I would put that in the amber section, right? But anything that's refined, anything that's processed is going to be on the bad list. Anything that's sugar added or sugary is going to be on the bad list. So, and I'm going to put this resource on or in our call notes, and you'll be able to have it and just at a glance, you'll be able to estimate, are my carbs good, bad, or should I maybe think about making another choice? Okay, well, we've got our own um, not unabashedly, what's undeniably good source of knowledge and inspiration for our Kangen water information. And I would love to bring him to the call right now. The always vigilant, persistent, and consistent, and gluten-free host of our show, Mr. Terrence Hope, Enagic 6A distributor extraordinaire. Mr. Hope, are you with us, sir?
Just happened to be lurking about, prowling about, listening on to your great talk about carbohydrates and all the great information we need to know about what the proper water, what the proper foods are we should be eating. What's so interesting about that today is that I got a call today with an inquiry about, the good food, bad food list. And someone wanted to know, hey, I'm trying to figure out what I should be eating. And I wanted to find that good food, bad food list. And how apropos that you would come along today with the subject matter of carbohydrate traffic light. Is that how it goes?
Yep.
To know, hey, what to stop. Hey, don't go no further. Hey, caution. Hey, what you can eat, and what things are good for us. And, we always thank you so much for your presentations. We are very fortunate to be here on the Kangen Water Health and Information Call, where we learn about the Kangen water machines. We get to understand how they work properly. And at the same time, we get to hear from our lovely Dr. Singletary, who explains to us all kind of aspects of health, nutrition, that we can put together, all things we need to know on the Kangen Water Health and Information Call, and bring the best of all worlds, proper water, proper hydration, proper detoxification, proper nutrition, and we get all these things that we need to have and know so that we can do well and live well and stay healthy. So once again, we thank you, Dr. Lisa Singletary, coming on board here on the Kangen Water Health and Information Call and bringing us this great information we need to know. On a need to know basis, yeah, we need to know it. So thank you all for coming aboard. So I'm going to go over our key subject matter today, the Kangen water machines, understanding what they are, how they work, how to use them properly, how to get the best out of them for your health benefits. So that way, your owners, as owners of Kangen water machines, you are well versed and you have a resource. We can reach out to us at any time, call us, talk to us, ask us questions, find out all those details that maybe you never knew or thought you knew, and you're gonna maybe come to re-know or relearn what is correct in terms of the Kangen water machine. So here we go. 5, 4, 3, 2, water. Change your water, change your life. Because when you drink Kangen water, you're drinking a different experience. Once upon a time, I thought water was water. That's right, I thought water was water. Whether it was this glass of water or that glass of water, here a thing, there a thing, here a thing. But we come to find that they're all different. And different types of water have different properties. Just because it's transparent doesn't mean everything inside of it is the same. Yeah. So I learned something new, we'll learn something new, and understand there are all kinds of waters. Here on our Kangen water machines, these units produce 7 different levels of water. You've got your Kangen water, 8.5, 9.0, 9.5. You have your neutral pH water. Machines call it clean water, but of course, all the water in the machine is clean. The acidic water in the yellow buttons, also known as beauty water. You have your strong Kangen water, which is an 11.5 pH water. And you have your strong acidic water, which is a 2.5 water. That's very, very good for killing bacteria. It's also known as a hypochlorous acid. But we'll start from the top. So what is Kangen water? Kangen water is known in science terms as electrolyzed reduced water. electrolyzed reduced water. And electrolyzed reduced water is produced in a process known as electrolysis. Electrolysis is a process where electricity comes into direct contact with water. So inside of our great machines, what you're having is electricity coming in direct contact with water. And when that happens, you get an antioxidant effect in the drinking water. You have ions, molecular structures that are antioxidant. So when you drink condom water as an electrolyzed reduced water, you're drinking a water that can detox you at the cellular level, remove toxicity from all that junk food buildup that we may have had in many of our countries, the types of foods and beverages we've been drinking since childhood. This is our Kangen 8 machine, known as the K8. It's white in appearance, digital features. It has a universal power supply system. This great machine can be traveled with to any country in the world and plugged into any electrical socket because it immediately adapts to any electrical power grid in any country. So great machine to have and not have to worry about whether it's going to connect properly to electrical systems. This is the famous SD501. It has been our flagship unit for the past 7 years. No, it's a 7-plate machine. It's been our flagship machine for the past 17 or 18 years. Great unit, sturdy, reliable, known for a great reputation. This is the Platinum SD501. It has a silver or metallic exterior. Really great machine for detoxification, just as is the SD501. Both of these machines are really the same unit. The difference is the exterior is metallic on the Platinum SD501, and it's more colorful on the original SD501. Either machine is great for your uses and health. So once again, condom water is an electrolyzed reduced water produced in a process known as electrolysis, where electricity comes in direct contact with water. There's plenty of research you can review under the heading of electrolyzed reduced water, many science journals, which will cover the information of the health benefits of this type of water. We are a brand name of Kangen water, but the science term that refers to what our water machines actually are is electrolyzed reduced water. Look up that term and you will come to learn what our machines are in terms of their health benefits. What's happening in our machines? Lightning, literally, right? It's like having a small lightning strike inside of your machine. Electricity is coming in contact with your water. Here's my nice depiction of a lightning hitting a body of water somewhere down there. There's a lake. So you have H2O, which is our symbolic molecular structure for water, being hit by electricity. And when you hit water with electricity, kapow, you get a division of the water molecule H2O into its subsets, OH negative and H plus. Here's a nice little flow chart of what's happening. So you have your water H2O being hit by electricity, pow, it dividing into its elements of OH negative and H plus. This OH negative is an alkaline molecule that we use to measure the overall volume of antioxidant ions in the water at a time. There's a good little diagram showing what it looks like at the molecular level simulation of the OH negative molecule with water. And just imagine there are other antioxidant ions in the water. The more of these OH negatives we have in the water, which is an alkaline molecule, the greater the volume of overall antioxidant ions in the water at a time. So our pH readings of 8.5, 9.0, and 9.5 are readings of the volume of antioxidant ions in our Kangen water machines at a time. The OH negative ions are a reading of the overall volume of other antioxidant ions in your water at a time. And so our water machines are causing something that actually causes a detoxification of your body. A detoxification of your body will allow your body to more easily maintain its own internal pH in all the organs. So remember, just because there's an alkaline molecule involved in our electrically processed water, doesn't mean that our water machines are alkalizing your body or making them alkaline. The whole concept of your body being alkaline, drink alkaline water, eat alkaline foods, was well-meaning by many people, but not accurate. Your body, in fact, is not alkaline. It's both acidic in many organs and alkaline in others. And your body maintains its own internal pH by detoxing, staying at a regulated level of detoxification, and maintaining its own pH balance as it is self-regulating throughout the entire body. So here's electrolysis. Here's a chamber inside your machine. Electricity is hitting the water, producing antioxidant ions. Many other papers you could look at that talk about the antioxidant ions within the Kangen water, known as electrolyzed reduced water. Here's an excerpt from the Science Direct publication. Science Direct, under the heading of Trends in Food Science and Technology. Trends in Food Science and Technology. So look up that publication, Science Direct, and the article Trends in Food Science and Technology, and you will learn a lot more about the different antioxidant ions and particles and elements that are in our electrolyzed reduced water, as we like to call it, Kangen water. Yeah. We're looking for a negative charge on our ORP meter. What's an ORP meter? It's an oxidative reduction potential meter. It's an electronic device that shows us a negative number or a positive number based on the substance we are reading with the wand of the meter. The higher the negative number when we test a substance, the stronger the antioxidant effect. The higher the positive number when we test a liquid substance, the stronger the oxidizing effect, or that effect that makes your body more toxic. Yeah. Kangen water on this chart is showing a very high negative number, in this case, negative 400, although it's known to go higher, 750 or even 800. On the other side, you're seeing things like soda, carbonated beverages, reverse osmosis water, distilled water, some of the purified waters in the bottles in stores, tap water, chemically treated, very, very toxic, and you're seeing a high positive number. So what you want is an antioxidant water shown with a negative number on our meter, and beware of the high positive numbers. Even some of your red bottled waters are in the positive range and are more oxidizing than detoxing. Your body is mostly water. Our bodies are 70% water or more. Our blood is over 90% water. We have to make sure the kind of water we're drinking is good for detoxification. The kind of water you get in Kangen water is excellent for detoxification, and you have it. Think of your body as a fish tank that can build up with high toxicity. You want to keep that fish tank clean so the fish can get plenty of oxygen and can function well within the water that is in that enclosed tank. In the same way, your body has to detox. You have to remove toxicity. You can't keep a high toxic load and be healthy. And your body is best at maintaining its own internal pH regulation when the body is at a detoxed managed level. Watch out for junk foods. They're processed foods, as Dr. Singletary talked about in her talk just now, the carbohydrates, the fast food restaurants, the carbonated beverages, all very highly toxic, all very problematic. Eat produce, protein, stay healthy. Here's a good example of the different pH levels in your different organs. Here we see the gastric secretions at 1.0 to 3.5. Here we see the capillary blood at 7.35 to 4.0. So what we're looking at here is pH. Anything below a 7 on a scale of 0 to 14 is considered to be acidic. Anything above a 7 on a scale of 0 to 14 is considered to be alkaline. Yeah. So some of the organs in your body are more acidic, like the gastric secretions, the upper stomach, the lower stomach, small and large intestines, all in the ranges below a 7, 1.5 to 4.0, 4.0 to 7.0, looking at things below a 7. Yeah. So other organs like the heart, the bloodstream, they are more in the alkaline range, 7.4 to 7.45. Above a 7, 7.0 to 7.4. Above a 7, the brain, 7.1. The list goes on and on. So your body's not alkaline. Your body has acidic chambers and alkaline chambers. And depending on the function of the organ, it will depend on what the pH is necessary for its proper function. It's an amazing system, the body we have been gifted with by God. Yes? Here we live in it, don't even know how it works. Have to go keep looking on the manual. So what is this body I'm in? It's like getting a car and having to know how it works inside. What is this car I'm driving? How does it actually work inside? We don't know. We get in the car, step in the gas, put some gasoline in it, and it goes. Like, okay, great, this is fun. Having no idea all the mechanisms going on inside that machinery, having no concept of it, having no involvement with how it works, having nothing to do with, how it's going to function, but yet we drive the car. Our bodies are very much the same way. We're in a vehicle, we're in a body and mhm. and the body is self-regulating. Really not much we have to do. And so we enjoy living in it, but you know, don't worry about what you have to now think about. If you had to think about what your body had to do and go do it, probably wouldn't do it. A lot of things we have sort of intuited over time. Um, I believe been given the information by God about what we need to eat and how we need to function. And humans, we have a bit too much creativity going on, and we kind of mess things up, you know. But we'll get back to the origin of what's best for you: produce, proteins, eat well, stay healthy. Yeah. So just a reminder, your body is self-healing. This chart here just goes over many of the different types of waters in the market these days in many countries. These waters tend to be alkaline in pH, trying to mimic the concept of the pH of Kangen water machines. But be careful, these waters are chemically processed. You're getting sometimes synthetic minerals placed into water that are alkaline, and you know, therefore they consider they're alkaline water. Just because they're alkaline in pH does not mean that they're antioxidant or detoxing. So be careful. This is a lot of very deceptive marketing, trying to get you to buy things that are alkaline because there was talk about alkalinity, and your health has nothing to do with it. Remember, you eat oranges and pineapples, right? Sometimes you eat grapefruits and tomatoes, various things that are acidic in their pH. Doesn't mean your body turns acidic when you eat them. But you're going to be careful of all these toxic junk foods. Those are the things that can make your body toxic, therefore build up high unnecessary acidity, disorderly acidity, and so it could cause pH imbalance. Yeah. So be careful about alkaline water in the store. It will not help you. It cannot help you. As a matter of fact, most it can do is build up calcium in your body that can cause pH imbalances. Caution, caution, caution. You heard it here. Do not drink alkaline water in the stores. Not good for you. Just a joke, just a deception to get you to drink something that you heard of as being healthy. It's only just talking about alkalinity. Alkalinity is not the key. Detoxification is the key. The animals in the wild seem to stay pretty healthy. Why is that? They eat produce and protein and what water they have access to. They're not eating any of the junk foods we're eating. Try to eat more like what nature provides. Your body will stay healthy. Remember that your body is self-healing from the surface of the skin right down to the depths of the bones. Your body is going to heal itself. Some bandages we put on to keep our body clean. Some casts we put on to keep our bones still, so that as they heal themselves, they heal evenly. And you know this very well. Your body heals at the skin. You know very well your bones heal. What you may not realize is that that same self-healing ability continues right down to the cellular level inside the body, as long as you've got proper detoxification, hydration, and nutrition. We try to remind you of that here on the Kangen Water Health Information Call. Drink Kangen water. It's excellent for your health. And you can always reach us with more questions about the UK, 0800 086 9793, 0800 086 9793. If you're in the United States, please contact us at 866 Kangen 8. That's 866 526 4368. Also goes by the acronym 866 Kangen 8. If you're in Dubai, 0800 018 589. That's 0800 018 589. And throughout the world, if inside the United States, please try to reach us on the UK line. That comes to us directly all over the world. In the United States, KangenWaterNation.com, our main website. Throughout the United Kingdom, KangenWaterLondon.co.uk. We have installation experts that help you as well. Connect your machine in your home. In Dubai, KangenWaterDubai.com. That's KangenWaterDubai.com. And you can reach us to that website, ask us more questions. And we have representatives throughout Dubai to assist, and installation experts to come and connect your machine. Particularly because of that salinated water you've got over in Dubai, we're able to handle that with proper pre-filtration, and happy to help. Yeah. So I'm going to pause there. Great information. I hope you enjoyed, and pass the call back over to Dr. Lisa Singletary, MD, and remind you, we can now shortly go into our what we call that question and answer segment, Q&A segment. where we bring you into the call. You raise your hand in the chat, your hand goes up, like I do under reactions, my hand up, wave away, and we see your hand is raised, and we bring you to the call. Listen, when you ask a question around the world, sometimes it's a subject matter that we haven't talked about here on the call. Go ahead, bring your question into the call. We'll take your question, we'll answer it, and maybe something that others may have had on their mind but never thought to ask, and your questions enrich the call. I see someone actually sent us a little question. It says, what's the effect of high alkaline water to drink in our body? What's the effect of high alkaline water to drink in our body? And that's a chat. Someone came up with a chat, and I see someone named Maria. And just Maria, just so you know, you can always come in, ask the question audio-wise by raising your hand. We'll unmute you, let you ask your question live, and you can actually go into more detail. But to start, I'll answer that question because it is a Kangen water question. What is the effect of high alkaline water to drink in our body? So now, here's a good point. Our bodies are not alkaline. I'm going to say that forthrightly, just so I can make the point very, very clear. Our bodies are not alkaline, yeah? So these Kangen water machines are electrically processed water, where electricity is hitting water, creating an antioxidant effect in the water, so that when you drink it, your body can now detox most effectively. If you go to the store, you'll find a water known as alkaline water. The waters are different. They are chemically processed, which means they're taking minerals and putting them into water, yeah? Now, why are they doing that? They're doing that because Kangen water became famously known as alkaline water. And when we became famously known as alkaline water, it began to trend as a very popular term. If anybody here on the call is more than 20 years old, you'll remember that prior to 2000, there was nothing ever referred to as alkaline water. It was never advertised. You heard about spring waters. Maybe you heard about distilled waters. Maybe you heard about reverse osmosis water in the new millennium after 2000. But there was no marketing of an alkaline water, right? 2003, Enagic, the Kangen water company, comes into the United States with their Kangen water machines. It became quickly known as alkaline water systems because there are settings on the machines that refer to alkalinity. Sorry for flashing through my slides like that, but just want to make our point. So the different settings on the machine, the 8.5, the 9.0, the 9.5, are alkaline pHs, yeah? What is that about? Those are simply readings. There's like a litmus test. It's like a way of measuring the volume of antioxidant ions within the water at a time. It doesn't mean that we're actually alkalizing your body. It's simply that there are alkaline molecules in our water when it goes through electrolysis, where electricity hits water. Our water is antioxidant. There happen to be alkaline molecules within the water. So OH negative is an alkaline molecule that we use as a measuring tool of the overall volume of antioxidant molecules within the water as well. So when you detox with an antioxidant substance, your body is better able to maintain its own internal pH. Different organs in the body have different pH levels, yeah? So some of the organs are acidic, like the stomach and the small and large intestines. Some of the organs are more alkaline, like the heart and the blood, yeah? So your body is not entirely alkaline because there are various different pH ranges all throughout the body. So our job with our water is to remove toxicity, because in a toxic-free environment, the body is best at maintaining the pH of all the different organs as they should be. So the saliva can go from a 6.0, which is acidic, to a 7.4, which is alkaline. The urine can go from a 4.5 pH to an 8.0 pH, from acidic to alkaline. So you see this huge range in different organs. The small intestines must be in the acidic range. 4.0 is below a 7, right to its neutral level 7.0. The stomach, 1.5 to 4.0, stays in the acidic range all the time. So you see what I mean? Now, what would happen, Maria, if we were to alkalize the body? These different organs in the body would take on excessive alkalinity, something that would push them into the alkaline ranges. So the acidic organs that need to stay acidic and be healthy would suddenly be in the alkaline range. Guess what? None of your organs can function properly when the acidity or alkaline levels are offline. So if the acidity levels are too high, running into the alkaline pH ranges, the organ becomes dysfunctional. If the brain or the heart pH is too high, above where their range is supposed to be, they become dysfunctional. And then any chronic illness can occur if you make the body too alkaline. Our machines create a water that are antioxidant and that do not make your body alkaline. They detox the body. Because guess what, Maria, the body is actually self-regulating. It maintains its own alkalinity or its own acidity per the organ that it's maintaining. And it does not require us to eat something alkaline or acidic. So when we drink an alkaline water, for example, what I mentioned here was these mineral waters, trying to mimic Kangen, they created a mineralized alkaline water. And they put many times a synthetic alkaline minerals in them, like calcium and iron, which are not plant-based. Instead of, they'll have to be synthesized, because if they were plant-based, they most likely would maintain the color, and you couldn't have a transparent water. So they put alkaline minerals in water, and it pushes the pH high. And then you have the risk of building up in too much calcium inside your body that can make calcium deposits and make your body too alkaline, because you'll lodge calcium, the pH will run high, the organ will become dysfunctional. Alkalinity in your body at too high levels known as alkalosis. But remember, once again, the Condom water machines do not make your body alkaline. They simply detox it. They're not adding alkaline minerals to your body. Yeah. So big difference between electrically processed, as in Kangen water, and chemically processed, as in alkaline mineral waters in the store. So Maria, make sure I answered your question properly. And if you want, you can come on live. We can unmute you if you want to. That way we can kind of get more dynamic with your questions. I see you say you've got a friend drinking pH 14 alkaline water from the dialysis clinic, and you want to know what process that's going on. So I'm going to unmute you just in case you want to ask a question. You can, or give you the option that you can unmute, and we can kind of have more of a dialogue going back and forth. So you're free to unmute at any time. Hi, Maria.
Okay. Hi. My friend, he is a nurse, and he said, "Oh, I don't have to buy a Kangen machine because I have already what is this, alkaline water from where he works in the dialysis." So I said, "How high is the alkaline?" 14. I said, "Oh my gosh, we only drink 9.5, and the highest in the machine is 11.5." So that's why I'm concerned. How could he drink this 14 pH 14 alkaline?
So Maria, you ask a really great question, and I'm glad you do, because this is a key point we look to make on the call on a regular basis. And it's a common error that everybody makes. And why are people making this error? Why are they making this mistake? Because the rhetoric has gone out since 2003 that the body was alkaline, and that one should drink alkaline foods and one should drink alkaline water so the body can be alkaline and the body can be quote unquote healthy. And so people have taken that information without researching it, as I did when I first got involved with the Kangen water machines.
Yeah.
And they're making the mistake. Matter of fact, not only are people drinking alkaline waters in the stores, but they are drinking alkaline waters at a very high pH levels, thinking, oh, okay, if alkalinity is good, a lot of alkalinity will be great. Then I'll be super
That's
healthy and I'll be doing
yes.
the great thing, right? And
Right.
it's entirely a gigantic error, a big mistake that they're making.
Mhm. Yes.
And even for some medical professionals. So for example, you mentioned that he's a nurse, right?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
There are some scientists that I've seen walking around drinking mineralized alkaline water. There are some, doctors that are doing the same thing. Yeah. And so what
Mm-hmm.
happens, even though they have a background in science, they may not always be thinking through what they're doing. And as much as everybody else has taken up the mantle or practice of listening to everything they hear and then putting into practice that sounds good, they're doing the same thing. And I could also see where scientists can make mistakes. So even though they're scientists, they may not necessarily be versed or keeping up to date in their mind of their biochemistry background and thinking, gee, alkaline water is good for my health? That sounds okay. They don't think back about how the body functions. And it would be an error to make your body alkaline and what that will be doing. I've even had to correct some scientists. I've seen walking through the hallways of science institutions, drinking alkaline water. I said, what do you drink alkaline water for? Oh, well, some minerals in here, I figured it'd be good. I said, but making your body alkaline is not gonna make you healthier. Yeah, so I'm doing well with it. They quickly want to dismiss it, right? But so too quick to grab popular information without reviewing it. So once again, so that nurse has to go back and take a look at their biochemistry class information, just as a reminder. It's very easy. And you know what this is also saying, how easy it is for those, even of those who are learned in a subject, to be misinformed when they don't take the time to think through. So you just can't take every piece of information that's said publicly and say, okay, that sounds right, let me do it. Even a lot of science information that's going around today, we're hearing from great authorities about what is healthy, what is best, and what the science says. But many of us are not scientists that would take the time to go and review that information. And if we reviewed it, we might find a lot of holes we can poke in it. Yeah. So in the same way with our water. So your friend, the nurse, needs an antioxidant water, should not be drinking an alkaline water, should not be drinking alkaline pH water of pH 14.
I'm so
And he should
scared.
listen to you. And maybe if he's not listening to you, take the time to go back and look at the biochemistry on the pH of the body. You can remind him, well, your stomach is acidic. So how is drinking mineralized alkaline water beneficial for you? Let him think about it. Ask him the question. Your intestines are acidic. So why would you drink alkaline water to push the alkalinity too high? He could lodge excess synthetic, non-bioavailable alkaline minerals in his body and cause pH imbalance. So he has to remember, hey, go back and look at the biochemistry. I heard that you're supposed to be drinking, the Kangen water is an antioxidant water. And even though it's called alkaline water by many people popularly, it's not actually making your body alkaline. The alkalinity is just a measuring tool of the antioxidant effect it has. And there are other antioxidant ions within the water. So they need to get away from the alkaline water concept. And it's also, once again, why I make these references every call that we're on. Where am I? Referring to electrolyzed reduced water. Yeah? Because if I make that reference, I remove the concept of alkalinity. Notice how I open the call. Kangen water is an electrolyzed reduced water produced in a process known as electrolysis, where electricity is in contact with water. So electrolyzed reduced water produced by electricity. Notice how I always open the call. And in no part of my call do you really hear me talking about alkalinity. It's always back to electrolyte reduced water. It's always back to the antioxidant effect. It's always back to the structure of how it's happening, right? Nothing about alkalinity. Until I had to try to explain to you, it's not what we are. So that's when you can tell your friend, the nurse, Mr. Know-it-all, because I know when they're health professionals, they think they know it all and they can't hear from anybody else. I don't mean to insult them by calling them Mr. Know-it-all, but that's what happens a lot of times. They think they know too much, and you can't tell them anything. Invite him to the call. Let me talk to him.
Mr. Hope.
Bring him to me.
Mr. Hope.
What?
You're on a roll, baby. You're on a roll.
Yeah. She got me heated.
Could I maybe interject just a little bit?
Yeah, sure.
Okay, so on call number, actually this morning I was watching a video where someone was talking about apple cider vinegar and baking soda, bicarbonate of soda, and the different effects that they have on the body, the apple cider vinegar being acidic and the bicarb being basic or alkaline. And that was a really good video, and I'll put that in the call resources as well. But what I wanted to just remind everyone is that I think it was call number 415. We talked about how the body maintains pH and 3 different ways that the body maintains pH. Can you see the slide?
Yes.
Okay, good. And the next to the last slide was about the body's, I don't know if I can, that the body has mechanisms that respond to acidosis and to alkalosis. So the body expends a lot of energy keeping the pH where it's supposed to be. And the body can quickly eliminate acid by increasing respiration and by increasing acid release from the kidneys, as well as other mechanisms. And I might have, and I don't remember all of the details of that call, but I might have mentioned the fact that acidosis and alkalosis can be respiratory, they can be metabolic, and a metabolic acidosis or alkalosis is a very, very bad situation for the body because it has a very narrow set of parameters where by all of the enzymes will function properly in the different tissues and under different circumstances. So that may be helpful. Call number 415 with the resources that are in that call, in the call description box.
Yeah, great references. And that was a great call where you went into great detail about the regulation of our pH. Yeah.
That's
I like
so
that a
important.
lot.
It expends, we use a lot of energy to make sure that the pH of each individual cell in each compartment is in the proper range. So when you try to alkalize body, the first thing you're doing is you're disrupting the acid environment of the stomach, which decreases the efficiency of digestion of the stomach, which sets up a whole cascade of bad things later on. You're right. Your remarks were right on, Mr. Hope, but we do have some resources that might help.
Oh, I love those resources. I loved when you did that call and that presentation because it was so detailed on the regulation of our pH. And we want to remind everyone who's joined the call, who's on the call, we are in the Q&A, question and answer session of our Kangen Water Health and Information call. We encourage you to raise your hand by going to the reactions area on your Zoom page and clicking the button that says raise hand. And that will put your little hand up, a little hand wave there. And we could see your hand is raised and we know that you have a question. It's very good when you ask questions. And I'm very glad that Maria asked this question today, because it brought us to detail more of what we talked about in terms of the pH of Kangen water, the antioxidant effect of Kangen water. This is a very common mistake that's being made by people who are drinking Kangen water, who are looking to make their health better by drinking the proper waters. And oftentimes people drink alkaline water from the store, and we understand how that happened. I went through some great efforts to talk to the CEO, the USA CEO of Enagic a few years ago, when I came across all this information, and I asked him very specifically, can we include this in more of our promotional materials now and move away from alkalinity, because it caused a lot of confusion, because the average person is not a scientist. And they're not going to take the time to go and research this. And even if someone is a scientist, they may not go to research it, and they might make the same mistakes. So everybody can be susceptible to popularized information. Everyone can become susceptible to popularized information. Everyone can become susceptible to popularized information. So we encourage you to come on the call, ask us your question. We'll take your question live, and we'll look to be thorough so that all understand what Kangen water is, how it works in the body, and how to use it properly. I see someone who's just unmuted themselves. Is that Jillian? Did you have a question out there in the UK? You can come on and ask your question unmute yourself, and we'll be happy to take your question anywhere in the world. There we have it. Thank you, Maria. And by the way, Maria, where are you calling from? Where are you calling in from? Are you from the US or from another country, or whereabouts? Well, you can answer it, Tim. You may be muted again. Sorry about that. But Dr. Singletary, maybe we'll take some more questions.
Well, I see Juanita's hand is up, but I also wanted to say that that question you just asked, Maria, what country she's from, we get anecdotal stories about people using 11.5 water, say, in certain treatment protocols. And I did make the observation that I hear the most of those stories that I hear are from other countries, and countries that don't possibly have as much of a toxic environment that's inherent in just the day-to-day exposure of the population, and maybe, since the United States is #1 country in obesity, knowing that toxins are stored in adipose tissue, in the fat cells, and so the toxic load of these people is not as great. So there are a lot of different factors that will allow people. Oh, I see. She's in Florida and Fort Lauderdale. Okay. So thank you, Maria. But there are a lot of variables that affect how many toxins are stored in someone's body, and so how many toxins are going to be released when drinking a detoxifying water such as Kangen water. So,
well, yeah, you touched on a really great subject. I can tell you this: I had a dialectic with a friend of mine who was a 682 distributor here in the United States, and Norma Barrett, good friend of mine in New York, 682 Kangen water distributor. And when I came across the information about the proper term for what Kangen water is as electrolyzed reduced water, she and I, after one of these conference calls, sat back and talked for a while. And I thought to myself, well, how come everyone is racing to the 9.5? How come there was never any caution in the United States or in Russia or in different countries that 9.5 could be too strong of a detox? So here's a subject matter, and here's a country issue, as Dr. Singletary brought to our attention. Different cultures have different eating habits. Different cultures have different toxicity levels. These Kangen water machines came out of Japan. Yeah, they were invented in a different form in 1972, 1974, in industrialized use in hospitals. 1974 to 1995, those types of machines are in use in those public facilities. 1995, the Kangen water machine home models were created, much like what we see today. And by the time 2003 came along, that's 8 years later, you have the SD501 and those types of machine models in the homes in the United States. So what are we looking at? You're looking at a population in Japan that have the greatest number of how do you call 100
Centenarians.
Centenarians in the world, which means they're pretty healthy, probably the healthiest people on the planet. Their diets are mostly protein and produce. They're not very heavy on breads, not very heavy on junk foods, not very heavy on carbonated beverages. And more so when maybe America came in with the fast foods, but not overall, not leaning to it still to a great degree, even though it was present. So you have a population that are very, very healthy with a very low percentage of obesity and a very low percentage of many other chronic illnesses. They're eating as their body should be eating, yeah? So they could very easily drink the Kangen water for a week, get used to it a little bit, and then go up to 9.5 because their bodies tend to be more athletic and less toxic. The Kangen water 8.5 and 9.0 and 9.5 are different levels of antioxidant effect. The 9.5 means you have a very large volume of antioxidant ions, 8.5 smaller volume, the 9.0 mid-range. So if you drink a 9.5, you're gonna release a lot of toxicity. In Japan, that would not be that much of an issue, but move that machine into the United States with the high toxicity and high junk food and bad food list as their primary diet, and you got yourself a problem. You got highly toxic people drinking a highly antioxidant water, removing toxicity at a very high level, which means you could move more toxins to the colon than the colon is able to handle at a time and expel, which means you can easily overwhelm the detoxification process within your body, and toxins, instead of leaving the body about the natural pathways, can kick back up to the bloodstream, causing pH imbalances. So this is why on this call, we recommend that everyone start at 8.5 pH because of its mild detoxification level. And if you might have a risk of a high detoxing rate that could be problematic for the body, we recommend you stay at 8.5 for long periods of time. So 8.5 pH for the first 30 days for everyone, no matter who you are. 9.0 beginning in the second month, and then gradually going up to 9.5 if your body type can handle it. If you're carrying extra weight, stay 8.5. Your body's holding more toxins within fatty cells, and it could be too strong of a detox for your system. So what is the effect when the machines began to export around the world, walking into different cultures of toxicity and having different reactions? So we were able to recognize that there could be an issue with high detoxing rates and respond to that with information that would make sure people are drinking 8.5 for the first 30 days, and otherwise considering staying to 8.5 if their body it will have too great of a detox rate. So good point you're making, Dr. Singletary, about different things. And I think that the whole issue about alkalinity really started off in the United States because this is where the water kind of started on its export around the world from Japan. You know, America was the first landing place for headquarters out of Japan and then expanded around the world. And here, for whatever reason, it was called alkaline water. Now, if you talk to any of the technicians in America, in the headquarters of the Condom water machines. There are 7 of them here. New York, Florida, Texas, 2 in California, 1 in Chicago, 1 in Northwest in, I think, Washington State. Any of the technicians who take care of the machines will tell you, oh, it's not about alkalinity, it's about the electrolysis and detoxification. But that never translated to the distributors. And so they all talked a different thing, which I got caught up in. But fortunately, I was working in a science environment where scientists who were thinking about it actually challenged me. And we began to have a different rhetoric. So,
Well, also, I think someone in marketing grabbed hold of the Dr. Warburg, the simplification of Dr. Warburg's work, and just took that and ran with it, and it's done, like you said, well-meaning, but incorrect information being disseminated. So
and I think what you said there becomes very accurate too in terms of simplification. I think we're learning, maybe the world learns, you can't really simplify science, because simplifying it can really put a broad stroke and make an error. It's so easy to use a term that means different things in different situations, and therefore create confusion. I've seen it so often, like electrolysis being confused with electrolytes. It's very similar sounding, but it's 2 entirely different things.
Yeah.
Alkalinity in electrolysis, alkalinity in mineral, infusion. So yeah, well said.
All right, Ms. Juanita, you got your hand up. How can we welcome you to the call today?
Hand up, waving side to side, like a flag waving in the wind.
Good morning.
Madam Northwest.
Yes, this is the beautiful Juanita at Kangen Northwest. That's where we are right here. And Mr. Hope,
Yes, madam.
you must be corrected on a couple things today.
Okay.
Number 1, you mentioned that, and maybe I heard it wrong. And hi, everyone. I'm Juanita from the beautiful Northwest, and I just inactivated my status with the NAGIC. So I am now under Dr. Lisa and Mr. Hope, and I'm giving the next 30 days what I told Dr. Lisa, balls to the wall, to share this news with the hundreds of thousands of people that I've already talked to. So, Mr. Hope, number 1, you mentioned the ST501P is similar, well, almost exactly the same as an ST501, and you must stand approved other than the casing. There is the ST501P, which I invested in
The
a
platinum.
few days ago, speaks 5 languages.
What is that?
I love you. And the other thing I'm looking right now, as we should be all doing, I'm on enagic.com. And the North American branches, because I thought you said 2 in California. I thought,
Yeah.
where is the second one?
San Diego.
It's not on our website then. It says, I clicked on our locations under North America. It says Chicago, Texas, Florida, Honolulu, LA, New York, the beautiful Seattle. And then they show Canada, Toronto, Vancouver, and then Mexico.
Yeah. There's one in
So-
San Diego now, and maybe they didn't update the system. And maybe it's used more so as administrative rather than as a walk-in location. But there's a San Diego Kangen Enagic office. Yeah.
That's my hometown, so I could use that.
Yeah, sure.
But as you guys know, Dr. Lisa, thank you so much for this topic. But I'm going to go into the business part of it, because I think we neglect to share this. And maybe I'm looking at the people on the call, and I'm wondering which one of us are the best at understanding the business part and how to set up our business from the very beginning. Because when I did it 12 years ago, I did it wrong. And it's only because we only knew what we knew 12 years ago, and now we know more, so we do better. So, Mr. Hope, we ordered my machine. Took about 10, 12 hours, whatever it did, that we persevered through it, because a lot of the errors I did. But I want to know, is there a way to track my shipment? I want to know when it's going to hit my front door.
Sure. You would call Enagic and give them your ID number, ask them for the tracking information, and they would email that to you, and then you can track your package.
Okay. My liquid gold.
Give them your new ID number.
Which is like my first ID number had 7 numbers in it. My second one had 5. And my third one
has 52.
Yes, it's 1 2. I memorized it now. It's 1 2 0 0 0 0 0. I think 4942 or something like that. So it's got like 11 numbers, which that's fine. I put it in. I've got this new Bible, right? Everyone knew that I was doing an Enagic old Bible, which is right under this one. That's my old one.
Your Enagic encyclopedia.
In my new one, you open it up, and inside it's upside down. I put my ID number over here. And then I printed out these 2 pages called Distributor Comp Plan to show people what is available when they join us, right? Because we're doing this not only to exactly what it says, change our water, change our life, maybe our zip code, maybe our last name.
So yeah, you're referring to the business side of the Kangen water machines. And yes, once we are an owner of a Kangen water machine, we can make referral bonuses as we recommend the machines to other people. And we can go over the different referral bonuses that are available as you do that, because some people have a great zeal for the health of others and are talking to many people. And the Kangen Water Company will support you in your efforts as you do that by paying you referral bonuses of each machine that is sold. And you can contact us offline on the call, and we'll go over those details with you. And I think perhaps we'll do a call that goes over the details of the compensation plan as well. I know we have operated it for years as the Kangen Water Health and Information Call. We haven't really stressed the business side of that, healthy finance, of course, that it allows if you refer the machine to others. But we can certainly begin to go into those details in the future. And I think maybe we'll make provision for that for sure.
Okay. And I went in and I printed off enagic.com this policies and procedures, which my old one was like 7 years old, so it's changed. Then in my old Bible, I have a.
When she says Bible, she means Kangen Water Machine Manual, just so you know. So.
Thus saith Enagic.
Yes.
In my old one, I have a distributor handbook. And I tried my friend Dale, my 12-year-old, who's going to be one of my next distributors. We're making a creative way of doing that. He and I sat down and printed this out, and I was teaching him how to do things right from day one. So I was getting him the same thing that I was doing, duplicatable, right? We're duplicatable. And I could not find the distributor handbook on the Enagic website where I originally got it from, nor there is something called a consumer. Let me find the word.
Well, yeah, we can go through that in some more detail. I think there's something going over time on the call, but we can make a provision for that where we can go some more details about those different things and find those documents people would need. Yeah.
Right. And to get supplies and things so that I can set up our new people from day one. I kind of gift them a few things to get them going.
That's
and back again to this dialysis. The question that Maria.
Yeah, that dialysis. Yeah, go ahead.
I put it in the chat box. I said, wow, Maria. She says, my friend's drinking the pH 14 alkaline from the dialysis clinic. I said, wow, Maria, that's really strong. How much are they giving her and where is it from? Is it fresh or bottled?
So, yeah, Maria, so I think we addressed the issues. You know, Mr. Hope talked about bottled water, and we've addressed the fact that 14 is just too strong. So,
well, I was just wondering, is she in another country? Maybe where?
No, she's in Fort Lauderdale, Florida.
America, yeah.
Well, Maria is, but where is her friend?
Probably in Florida as well.
Oh
Virginia,
yeah,
where?
it's in Florida. Sorry. Yeah,
Okay,
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
so I
Because
just wanted to,
they are just said, why should I buy the Kangen for alkaline? So we are using now because he is working in the dialysis clinic.
well, we have
So
an individual on this call right now from California, and he has a family member that I know is on dialysis as well. And I didn't know where they were producing that kind of water. Is it out of the hospital?
that I didn't know also. I
But
just
I think
asked.
she
I
referenced
just
the
asked because
dialysis
it's
center, and I would say this, that if someone is drinking a high alkaline water, it can make the body too alkaline and cause a condition called alkalosis. And if this
Mhm.
person
yes,
is a health professional known as a nurse and works at a dialysis center, I would hope that he and they are not recommending mineralized alkaline water for our dialysis patients, because you will make them worse. You will cause a pH imbalance in their bodies. It will not detox them as they would need their kidneys to detox. It can actually cause a calcium load in the kidneys and make them worse. And you can create more problems. So knowledge is imperative in these professional situations. I'm
yeah,
looking away because I'm thinking as I'm talking, and there is a danger to that kind of thinking in a professional environment. So
right.
I recommend that you tell that person, Maria. So I'm glad, Juanita,
Yes,
you reiterated that question she had, that they stop, they do not recommend, they come to us for more information. We can give them the references that they can look up regarding electrolyzed reduced water. They can learn the differences and be more of a benefit to those that they are in care of. And lack of knowledge in this case is dangerous.
dangerous. That's true. But anyway, I think
Thank you,
they
Maria.
just don't want to buy. They just don't want to buy the
Yeah,
machine. That's why. That's
exactly.
okay.
It's another way of
I'm just
saying no.
worried about. So why did you? Why? Oh no. One I just visited her house. Oh no, we are drinking already a 14 alkaline. 14. I
Huge
forgot the
mistake.
alkalosis. I
Very,
should have.
very,
They are
very
nurses. They
dangerous.
are both nurses. So well,
Yeah, they're
I
very, it's
just
very
mentioned it
dangerous.
again.
And a lot of times people, of course, cost and expense of our machines, we know that they are not, as they would say, a cheap date, but they would, dissuade people from trying to purchase it. And if they find an easy answer, they might try to run to that. So knowledge is important in this case. Even the concept of some people saying, oh, I don't need the Kangen water machines, I can just put baking soda in my water, is the same thing. It is not the same thing, people. And
Yeah,
you have to
lemon.
inform them. So I would
Put
say,
lemon.
Maria, invite them to the call. Juanita, thank you for your emphasis on
Thank you.
that question
Thank
she
you.
had. And Dr.
Yeah.
Singleton, I think we should begin to start to make our way out because we're certainly over time. Yes?
Hey, I'm ready, baby. I'm ready.
All right, my
I
friends.
have my slide. Thank you for joining us today. And we welcome you to Kangen to visit us here on Kangen Water Radio on Wednesdays and Saturdays at 1 p.m. Eastern, 6 p.m. UK, 9 p.m. Dubai. Same Kangen time, same Kangen station. And I do want to let everyone know that the replay will be available on YouTube. You go to YouTube and you search Kangen Water Radio, you'll find our channel. And in each video, there's a description box that has the resources that I mentioned for each call. So Mr. Hope's gone over the phone numbers and the websites, but I do want to thank you all for joining us today and welcome you back on Saturday. Same Kangen time, same Kangen station.
That's right. And that will be in the United Kingdom at 6 p.m. in the evening, in the UK, 1 p.m. on the East Coast of the United States, 10 a.m. on the West Coast of the United States. It'll be at 10:30 p.m. in the evening in India, in Nigeria, you can reach us at 6 p.m. In Nigeria. I believe we're in the same time as the UK still. Yeah. For Nigeria at 6 p.m. and in Dubai at 9 p.m. in the evening. So we look forward for you all joining us on Saturday at your select time zones, and seeing you here on the Kangen Water Health and Information Call. Tell your family, tell your friends, join them, have them join on in, and we'll be happy to help them with Kangen water information and give them the proper information they need.
We love you all.
Amen.
Mwah.